Hi, it's Miss Melissa with the Oosterhout Free Library and our new book, Horrible Harry and the Mud Gremlins by Suzy Kline, published by Viking. Harry's always getting into some kind of trouble, and this time it's for a really interesting reason. Harry the Fibber. I always knew my best friend Harry was a fibber. A good thing he never fibbed to me, or Song Lee, or our third-grade teacher, Miss Mackle. He just fibbed to one person, Sidney LaFleur. There's no doubt about it. Sid bugs Harry. One day, Sid sneaked one of Harry's homemade brownies and then had the nerve to ask about the crunchy parts. Well, Harry got revenge by telling Sid a fib. He said the crunchy part was a special ingredient he added. Cockroaches. Boy, did Sid flip out. He didn't know it was just chopped almonds. I thought it was funny. Besides, Sid had it coming. He can be annoying. He also had this bad habit of calling Harry a canary. Once, Sid put canary stickers on Harry's chair, Harry's lunchbox, and then Harry's new library book about dinosaurs. Harry got so mad he planned a triple revenge. Another fib. It happened after school. Harry told Sid he wanted to shake his hand to thank him for all the canary stickers. When Sid asked why the handshake felt so slimy, Harry told him it was a slug. Sid screamed all the way home. Harry told me later it was just leftover banana from lunch. Harry's fibs never bothered me before. Usually they made me laugh. But there was one fib, the one I'm going to tell you about, that really bothered me. It gave me goose pimples and made me sweat. Harry's mud gremlin fib. The really horrible part was that Harry got all of us, Mary, Ida, Dexter, Sydney, me, even Song Lee, to go along with it. It all began one Monday morning in November, when Harry wore a necklace to school. "Hey, Doug," Sidney whispered when he walked into room 3B. "What's Harry wearing around his neck?" "Looks like a necklace," I said, hanging up my jacket. "A necklace?" Sid giggled. After he put his lunchbox on the rack, we walked over to the science corner. Harry was standing on our new round yellow moon rug, checking the mold we were growing. Everyone in room 3B had taped a baggie to the wall with one slice of bread in it. We had started the experiment 10 days ago. "Look at that cool green mold," Harry exclaimed. Sid was unimpressed. He wanted to talk about Harry's jewelry. "Hey, Harry, don't you know that girls wear necklaces? Not boys." Just as Harry put a fist up, Mary appeared. "I can't believe you said that, Sidney. Don't you know boys have been wearing necklaces for years? Men, too. Don't you watch the World Series? Half the baseball players had necklaces on. And what about Michael Jordan? He wears a gold earring." Sid took a step back, turned, and walked over to the art supply table. Mary moved closer to Harry and examined his necklace. Interesting," she mumbled. "It's hexagonal, 6 sides. Is that a cover over it?" "Yep," Harry replied. Now Song Lee, Dexter, and Ida joined us. "What's under the cover?" Ida asked. "A locket?" Song Lee guessed. "Nope," Harry answered. "I'll show you." Very slowly, Harry slid the cover to one side. "My grandma got this for me at the museum shop on Sunday. It's a microscope. See the glass lens? You can look through it." Mary picked up the end of Harry's silvery chain and looked through the dangling lens. "Wow, I can see the lines on my own finger." "Sure you can," said Harry. "This baby magnifies things 10 times. When Song Lee took a turn, she used the lens to look back at Harry's face. "I can see the black hairs in your nose." Harry raised one eyebrow. "Want to see green hairs? Just look at the bread mold we're growing." Song Lee looked through the magnifying glass into the closest plastic baggie. "Ooh, neato! It looks like green fuzz growing out of craters." "Yeah," Harry agreed, "but it's not as cool as what I saw this morning on the way to school." What did you see? Mary demanded. You mean, what did I discover? I discovered a kingdom of mushrooms. A kingdom of mushrooms? We replied. Hey, what's up? Sid interrupted. He'd returned to the science corner wearing a yellow yarn necklace. 3 paper clips were hanging from it like silver jewels. No one made a comment. We were too interested in Harry's discovery. Harry lowered his voice. Just wait till recess. I'll show you some wicked-looking fungi. And you can look at it through my new magnifying necklace. What's fun-G? Sid blurted out. Fun guy, Harry corrected. Don't you pay attention in science? Mushrooms are part of the fungus kingdom, like the bread mold we're growing. My grandma told me we use fungi to make detergent, penicillin for antibiotics, blue cheese, and... Harry flashed his white teeth. Salami. Ah! Sid gasped, clutching his throat. Mom made a salami sandwich today. I'm eating fungi for lunch. We're all eating it for lunch, Sid, Harry replied. Yeast is a fungus that's inside bread. But when it's between your toes, it's called athlete's foot. You gotta be tough, Sid. Sydney's face turned as green as the mold in our experiment. Harry patted him on the back. Today's your lucky day, Sid. You get to eat a double fungus sandwich. Salami and bread. Song Lee giggled. Can you show us the kingdom of mushrooms at recess? At recess, Harry said, holding up a finger. But first, anyone who wants to see it has to promise not to tell where it is. It's a secret place. Everyone watched Harry make a small circle with his index finger and thumb. Put your fingers in here. One by one, we put our index fingers inside. It was a tight fit. Now repeat after me, Harry said, lowering his voice and squeezing our fingers. We huddled together on the moon rug and listened. I promise, Harry began. I promise, we repeated, to follow Harry into the kingdom of mushrooms. To follow Harry into the kingdom of mushrooms, we answered, and never tell anyone where we go. And never tell anyone where we go, we repeated. Good, Harry said, breaking up our circle of fingers. At recess, you're going to have the mushroom treat of a lifetime. Then he tucked his microscope necklace inside his sweater and gave us a toothy grin. It was a bummer being stuck in class all morning. We had to wait 3 hours until lunch recess. All we really wanted to do was visit the kingdom of mushrooms. Miss Mackle noticed our long faces and frowns. She immediately wrote, Writing Workshop on the blackboard, then turned around with a big smile. Sometimes when we're having a bad day, it's best to write. Harry and I exchanged a look. Mary rolled her eyes. I want you to write about something that bugs you and then illustrate it. I'll display your stories and pictures on a writing wall out in the hall. Can I make bugs for the wall? Harry asked. Sure, that sounds like fun, Miss Mackle replied. Just as soon as you finish your story. Harry's face got longer. He wanted to make bugs first. I know what I'm writing about. My brother, Ida groaned. He really bugs me. Miss Mackle smiled. No names, please. You can write about what a person does that bugs you, like teasing or yelling. Or smoking, Dexter interrupted. I hate smoke. I'm writing about lice, Cindy yelled. I got them last year, and that really bugged me. What good ideas, the teacher exclaimed. Anything else? Song Lee raised her hand. I remember once my family got dressed up and went to a nice restaurant. There was sticky gum under the table. I hated that. Miss Mackle put a hand over her heart. I've got the worst one, Harry bragged. Tick bites. My grandma found one on her back last summer after we came back from a hike. That hairy bugger was half in and half out of her skin. As soon as I finish writing about it, I'll make ticks and lice for the writing wall. Everyone cringed. Ida raised her hand. I've got another one now. Black ice. My mom and I nearly got into an accident last year. Our car swerved all over the road. Miss Mako gasped. "Oh no, let's begin writing now." Mary scowled. She couldn't think of anything. I couldn't either. Then Mary started tapping her pencil. That's it, I thought. Tapping bugged me. Finger tapping, pencil tapping, foot tapping. I got busy working. 30 minutes later, we shared our stories. One by one, we used Miss Mackle's microphone in the front of the room. Even the teacher read her story aloud. She hates long meetings. Mary was the only one who didn't share. "I have writer's block," she complained. "All the things I hate have been taken. I didn't want to write on the same thing someone else did. I wanted to hate something different." Miss Mackle smiled. "Maybe something will come to you later in the day. I'll call on you then." Everyone who finished their writing got to look at the green bread mold under the microscopes. Song Lee and I even made slides of the green fuzz. Finally, at 12 o'clock, the bell rang. We all hurried to the cafeteria and gobbled down our lunches. Sidney traded his salami sandwich for Harry's peanut butter and jelly. Sidney said he wanted to eat just a single fungus sandwich, not a double. When everyone finished, we hustled outside for recess. Sounds like me like Harry might have tricked Sidney into trading him for a salami sandwich that he wanted better, more than the peanut butter and jelly. As soon as we got outside on the playground, the 6 of us gathered around Harry. "Take us to the kingdom of mushrooms," Mary demanded. Harry took his necklace out of his sweater and grinned. "Follow me." We did. Harry took us to the far end of the playground, the side that faced an empty lot, not the street. "This is it," he said. Song Lee shrugged. "Where?" Harry pointed to the other side of the fence. We all looked at the vacant lot. There was scattered grass, a few bushes, and one white oak tree. The ground was covered with lots of dirt, leaves, and pebbles. A couple of candy wrappers and one crumpled potato chip bag floated in a puddle of water next to a chewed-up tennis ball. "We can't go over there," Mary snapped. "It's a school rule. You never leave the playground." "Can't we see the mushroom kingdom from the fence?" "Nope," Harry replied. "The kingdom of mushrooms is 5 yards away, just beyond that oak tree." "Ooh," Dexter hummed. Then he started clicking his fingers. "The kingdom of mushrooms. That's got a beat to it." Harry lowered his eyebrows. "Haven't any of you ever gotten a ball from the other side of the fence?" "I did once," I admitted. "In 1st grade, I crawled under this very fence and got a kickball. The teacher didn't seem mad at all. She just said, 'Don't do it again.' I think she was glad I got our red ball back." When I pointed to the fence where the wire was pushed back, everyone noticed there was an opening big enough for someone to crawl under. "I'm not going under there," Mary said, crossing her arms. "Chicken?" Harry replied. "I'm not a chicken," Sidney said, yanking his yarn necklace out from under his jacket. I think he was trying to copy Harry. "I'm tough." "Me too," Dexter replied. "When Elvis was in the army, he had to go into dangerous territory. I'm ready." Now, this is the theme with Dexter. He's kind of obsessed with Elvis. Harry looked at the girls. Ida had the same question I did. "What if someone sees us?" she asked. "I don't want to get in trouble." "No one will see you," Harry insisted. "That's the beauty of my plan." "What plan?" I asked. Harry answered right away. "You guys, go one at a time. I'll be waiting for you on the other side. 5 of you will stand in front of the fence like a human wall. No one will see us back there." "A human wall. Cool," Dexter replied, and then he added a bebop boop up. I could tell Song Lee was curious about the kingdom of mushrooms. Her fingers were curled around the wire fence, and she was gazing longingly at the other side. I also knew Song Lee had never broken a school rule before. "Why don't we go after school?" she suggested. Harry shook his head. "Half of you ride the bus. This is the only time we can go together." When Song Lee didn't say anything, Harry knew she was thinking hard. "It's for the sake of science," he pleaded. "It will be our own secret field trip. No one will tell where we went. We made a promise about that." "We're not going to Timbuktu. Just a couple of yards beyond the fence. Mary put her hands on her hips. 5 yards is not just a couple of yards, Harry Spooger, she barked. What kind of mushrooms are in this kingdom anyhow? Ordinary ones, like the kind in tuna noodle casserole? I'm not going under the fence to see these boring beige ones. Harry pointed a finger at Mary. I guarantee you the mushrooms are not ordinary, and they're not boring. They're stinkhorns. Stinkhorns, we replied. They're slimy and smelly, too, Harry added. Mary took a step back. I bet I'd hate them. Harry nodded. Probably. But if you hate them, you'll have something to write about. Mary made a tent with the tips of her fingers. She mumbled, tapping them slowly together. Miss Mackle is expecting a story from me this afternoon, and it would be something different. I don't want to let her down. Maybe I'll make a quick visit to see the stinkhorns. Then she added, but if I do, I'm going last. Next time, we'll see what they do. Usually, if somebody tells you not to tell anybody what you're going to do, it's a bad idea. But we'll see what Harry is up to, and we'll talk some more about mushrooms next time on Book Bites.